The White Wolf writers, they predicted the current status of the OGL in 2023, and they did this 20 years ago. They also made it canon in their game, so we're going to talk about what they said almost 20 years ago. Before I get too far ahead of myself, stick around to the end of the video where I will have a special giveaway being made available on my channel. If you want more information, links in the description below. Let's talk about Magicians of the Bay. If you are unfamiliar or new to the channel, welcome. Let's first discuss what World of Darkness is so that you have some context. I probably still sound a little bit nasally, and that's because I'm still sick. If a child ever gives you anything, whether it looks like food, candy, cookies, whatever, trust me, it is in fact the plague. Now, the World of Darkness is a series of interconnected role-playing games. Each game is set in a gothic representation of our modern world. And in each game, supernatural beings exist alongside humanity or behind a curtain of secrecy with humanity. The most popular game in this series is Vampire: The Masquerade. In this game, players take on the role of vampires, trying to live and survive in a world where they are hunted by humans, hunted by other supernatural creatures. Creatures like werewolves. This also leads us into another game in the World of Darkness setting. In Werewolf the Apocalypse, players take on the role of a werewolf. They are members of the Garou Nation, and they are called to protect their world, to protect their tribes, and to protect the Earth itself. There are, of course, other games in this series: Wraith the Oblivion, Mage the Ascension, Changeling the Dreaming, Hunter the Reckoning, as well as Mummy and Demon. All of these games encompass the setting that is World of Darkness. All of these games can be intertwined together, or you could play them individually and be fine with that too. All of these games use the same narrative storytelling system. All you need to play are a few D10s. Now, before I tie Magicians of the Bay to Avalon Incorporated, who is owned by Pentex, if you are enjoying today's video, or at least the concept of today's video, I would encourage you to please hit the like button. And if you like lore around role-playing games, such as the World of Darkness, I would love to have you join me at the table. Avalon is one of the top 21 companies inside Pentex, and they specialize in toys and games. All of their toys and games, they encourage ultra-violence and self-loathing in their audience. Some of their products are even tainted directly by the worm. Now, the worm, if you ask a werewolf, it is one of their 3 original deities, one that they call the Triad. It is the end of life, except it's gone a little bit crazy. Avalon's ultimate goal is to render the next generation cruel and apathetic to the issues of the world. Now, who is Pentex? Pentex is a multinational mega corporation. They are also very corrupted by the worm, and their ultimate goal, their main agenda, is the spiritual, emotional, and literal corruption of the entire world. The way that they do this is through the use of a defiler worm. This is one of the Garou Nation's most difficult enemy. They originally started as a very small oil and gas mining company, and eventually, as they grew and they found success with their oil drilling, they started buying other companies, other entities to expand their reach. Werewolves aren't very good at corporate details, so they didn't stop Pentex, they didn't realize what was happening, and Pentex also became involved with vampires. It's rumored that there are several vampires that sit on the board of directors of Pentex. All of the following that I'm about to say is canon within the World of Darkness setting. I can't take all the credit for the video idea on this one. It was brought to me by some of my viewers, but it is interesting nonetheless. The obligatory icosahedron license, or OIL for short, was a scheme concocted by Magicians of the Bay. This OIL agreement allowed third-party creators to make their own icosahedron games compatible with the current edition of Labyrinths and Lamiae. Labyrinths and Lamiae is a parody to a well-known game that is having some significant troubles in the real world right now. And Magicians of the Bay, or MOTB for short, They are one of the major competitors to Black Dog Game Factory. BDGF is based out of Renton, Washington, and one of their major intellectual properties is the Buy More Sorcery card game. That's right, you heard it, Buy More Sorcery card game. What does that sound like a parody of? After many companies had signed on and been publishing for years under this new obligatory icosahedron license, that is when MOTB decided to unleash their hidden clause within the agreement that nobody saw. Any publisher who used the license owed MOTB 90% of their profits. This was probably nicer than what Wizards of the Coast offered many of its third-party publishers because it was on revenue, not profit. It wasn't 90%, it was 25%, which has since been revoked. But discussions are still happening around real-world events. Many companies went bankrupt because of this move, and MOTB consolidated power. MOTB then went on to purchase the Buy More Sorcery card game. Once they had consolidated their ownership, they were then purchased by Avalon Incorporated, who wanted to try to weaponize its audience. Looking at this in the context of a game world and that writers 20 years ago saw something like this coming is not surprising, I suppose. Being that this was early 2000s and TSR, who owned the rights to Dungeons & Dragons at that time, had a track record of doing unscrupulous things, it's no surprise that when the open gaming license was announced that this type of maneuver was predicted, maybe a bit tongue-in-cheek by some of the writers, the White Wolf writers, the World of Darkness writers, but nonetheless, here we are. I was able to find some of this information through the White Wolf wiki, as well as a couple of Werewolf the Apocalypse books and Mage the Ascension books. For Mage books, I found them in the Hidden Lore, the Fallen Tower, Las Vegas, and in the Werewolf books, I found them in the Subsidiary's Guide to Pentex, as well as the 20th Anniversary Edition Book of the Worm. I know that we need to keep up the discussion around the open gaming license, but I thought this would be kind of a fun, different way to put a spin on things. As promised, let's talk about the giveaway. I have partnered with Roll Initiative Convention, otherwise known as RinCon. They are having a TTRPG convention in the Netherlands. This is the first of its kind in the Netherlands. I have been given 2 sets of 2 tickets for this convention. I am not flying you to the Netherlands, but if you want to go to this convention or if it's easily accessible for you, I can get you in for free. RinCon is going to be an amazing convention. You're going to have live workshops, live games. There's going to be artists there, so get your character art, as well as speakers and vendors. Some of the games that you can expect to see there are When the End Comes, Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, and of course, Dungeons & Dragons. RinCon is happening April 15th, 2023 in Avik, Gelderland within the Netherlands. All you have to do is go to the pinned comment down below and type RinCon 2023. I will select 2 winners at random, and they will then have to go to the RinCon site, go to the checkout, use the coupon code to get their tickets for free. If you want more information, links in the description below. Thank you, RinCon, for the support and for the tickets, and I'm wishing you all of the best with your role-playing convention. I also have 2 new supporters on Patreon at the Maple Finder level, Umbral Corvus and Anthony Mazzeo. Thank you so much for your support for me and for the channel. My name's Nathaniel. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.